Well, hello, everybody. It's me, Steve Mann, your host, Project 8 Podcast. Just to go over a little bit, um, I've been away, I've been doing some hunting. I have not gotten, I'm sorry, I haven't gotten a deer yet, but I'm working on it. So I thought I might jump on today because I did a social experiment um, over the last 3 or 4 days, and I wanted to jump in here and talk about it. We're not going to do anything that political today, but anyway, um, I just want to say if you're an artist in a band, uh, shoot shoot me an email at steve.man at project8podcast.com. Okay, if you want to get on the show, um, we'll set up a time, all that good stuff. You can interview me as far as before we go live. All my shows are live. I don't do anything pre-recorded because you see what you get, that's what you get, okay? You see me, that's what you get me. So if you wanna promote yourself and all that good stuff on my show, just shoot me an email. Again, that's steve.man at project8podcast.com. If you would like to donate, you can go to my website at project8podcast.com. I'm not gonna do the www dot anymore. I was told that it was unprofessional. So, if you'd like to donate, there's a QR code on there. Support the show, or go to my website at project8podcast.com. So anyway, times are tough, and by the way, we're simulcasting on uh, Instagram Live. So I have not been able to add that into my restream to add that for a live stream yet, but I'm working on it. Haven't really had the time. But anyway, uh, so my project was to go out and do a gig on the gig economy to see how it was. So I picked DoorDash, and I was very surprised with what I experienced and saw. Being a new guy right out of the gate on DoorDash, and I'm not knocking DoorDash, okay? I'm not. It's a good side hustle. I enjoyed it. I could not record any of it due to privacy issues, but um, I do want to share my experience. So I did it as a social experiment. Okay, I wanted to see exactly what these gig guys do and how they do it and how much they actually make. Because when I DoorDash for a family of 6. So I always and they got a big order, right? So I always try to tip at least 20%. And if they gotta go way out of their way, I'll flip them something out of uh, uh, I'll flip them something a little extra to compensate them. I'm really generous when it comes to that. I don't always DoorDash a lot, but when I do, it's always a big order. And I live 5 miles. No, I don't even say 5 miles. I'd say 2 miles from the nearest Sonic, right? So one night we decided to have uh, Sonic milkshakes. So we went out, I ordered it thinking it was coming from the one down the street. No, it came from 2 towns over, about 10 miles away. And I'm like, wow, why didn't they just ship it to here? But anyway, their algorithm does not make sense to me. And I'll tell you why to begin with. For one, it took what would have taken um, 5 minutes tops to get that order to me. Okay, to get that order to me, tops. 5 minutes. It took 20 minutes to get that order from where they took it from. Okay, and brought. Not the Dasher's fault. It was just something in DoorDash's algorithm that said, "Hey, pick and take it." You know what I'm saying? My battery's running low. Oh, God bless. So anyway, okay, Instagram. I will try later when I got a good battery. Check us on Facebook Live, um, Twitter Live, or YouTube Live. Okay, I'm really excited. That's why I'm stuttering. So I'll see you then. I will end video. So anyway, I can't believe I was that unprepared to um, not charge my phone before I got on. Anyway, so it took 20 minutes for us to get that one order. The Dasher came to the door. I had a $10 bill in my hand. Other than, already tipping them online, $15. So this guy made $25 for that delivery off of me. Okay, he did his thing. He used his gas. He deserves some compensation in my eyes. True or false? I think it's true. So anyway, I did 18 orders in 3 days. I made a whopping $150. I had 3 reviews, 2 5-star, 1 4-star. Why? I don't know. I mean, I'm polite. I'm a people person. I'm like, is so and so okay? Yeah, thank you. Have a great day. Got your order. But I was looking at the tips. I wasn't expecting to get rich, within the 2 days. But, I was looking to make a little bit more money. So my average tip was probably about $2.50. I delivered a pizza for a pizza company. I guess they were slow on drivers, so DoorDash took it or whatever. They could have got it off the app, whatever. So I delivered the pizza. No tip. Wow. Okay. So my thing is, if you're going to order something, at least a couple of bucks. You don't have to do a percentage, but something means if you can't afford a 20% tip on a DoorDash order, then give them something a little bit. Just give them something. Don't just not give a tip. That is they only make a certain amount of money for that actual dash. And depending on where it's at, if it's like 5 miles away, they would probably only make $2.50, $3 on that ride to go from where they were at, pick it up at the restaurant, go 3 to 5 minutes to you, and only make $3. Now, if you would have gave them let's say you gave them $3. Sorry about that. Let's say you gave them $3, right? Then they would have $6, right? $6. Hold on, let me check my messages for that one trip. Which 5 minutes, $6. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Oh, my wife thinks I'm mad at her. But anyway, that's not bad at all. I'm not saying like you need to tip them 100% of what the dash is. I'm not saying that. But these guys, they use their own gas, they use their own car, they pay for their own insurance. They probably got a car note on there. They probably got some other bills. They're just doing this, to make some extra cash, probably for Christmas. Some of them do it full time. I talked to a guy, that's all he does. He goes from town to town doing DoorDash. Okay. So he says he can make if he really hustles and hits the hot spots, and work 15 hours that day, he can probably bring home 250. Okay. But he's got to hustle, $250 a day, night, whatever. But that's working like 15 hours. Now that might not be 15 consecutive hours, uh, but but that's still 15 hours. Do the math on that, you know. Uh, 15, my pencil broke. But anyway, I'm not gonna worry about it right now. But it's still a good chunk of change. If you're making 250 a day, excuse me, that's pretty good. But again, you're hustling. And how much did did you cash out that, or is that after expensive? I would say that would be cashing out because if he made that, I would think that he would spend at least $60 in fuel, filling up, depending on what kind of car he had. And if you got a Tesla, forget about it because you're gonna have to stop and charge that thing. I don't even know what they can get on a day. 300-400 miles. That's a lot. So all I'm saying is, you know, if your dasher pulls up and, you know, um, in a nice ride or something, he's probably dashing to pay for it or just doing this as a part-time gig. Like I said before, you 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 don't know what their story is. And if you can afford to do a DoorDash, you can afford to tip a couple of bucks. Then and if you can't afford that to tip, then you don't need it. You drive down to McDonald's yourself and pick it up, or take a bus to McDonald's, whatever your situation is. But I don't think the DoorDasher should come to your door without tipping. You know what I'm saying? If you're delivering for he you ought to tip them. It's just fair. I couldn't believe it. I for that $150. I spent 40 in fuel. So really, after the fuel, I only made $110. That's a lot. When you're going back and forth, and then I pick up an order in the town that I live in and take it about 13 miles away in a hot zone, as far as the app says it's a hot zone. So by the time I deliver it, I don't have another delivery going back to where I was at. So what I had to go back without an order to my area that was busier than the area that I was in. That it said that it was busy, and that I would receive an order out of there to go back or to go some another part of town. But I didn't. I had to come all the way back to the town that I started because so I did that, and I picked up at least 3 or 4 orders during the lunch yesterday. So I mean, it's really easy to sign up and do you could do it with a scooter. You can do it with a bicycle, which I live in a somewhat rural area. Yeah, I can't really use a scooter to do this. I have to use my car, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I met different people. Um, I wish I would have made a little bit more money, but that's but just to see the experience. Um, and see what these guys go through on a day to day. What really, my brother did it for full time for about 6 months, and he was bringing home about $1,000 a week. No shit. And but that's before the fuel. He'll cash out. I'm like, hey man, what'd you cash out this week? Oh, $1,000. What? But that doesn't count all the times that he filled up during the week. So what did he spend to make that $1,000? $100, $200 in fuel? I mean, gas prices are high. I think they're 325 right now from where I'm at, which is up from uh, before the pandemic and all that. It was like two something. So, excuse me. I like to vape. It's just nicotine. It ain't THC. It ain't marijuana. It ain't the Mary Jane. It ain't the devil's lettuce. Okay. So anyway, um, but yeah, I know there's a lot to go on. Inflation is up. People are trying to make a living with full and part-time jobs. I mean, they literally got a full-time job and then they got to go out and make more money to support their family, and they take on a second job, usually a gig or some other part-time means, uh, because their dollars aren't going as far as what they did uh, 3 years ago. Inflation is killing us. Um, that's why I'm glad I'm set with all the expenses for the show is all set. I pay a monthly fee for everything, and it's set. It doesn't go up or down. It's set. Um, so I can I can afford to keep the show going. It just adds a little bit more bills uh, to my budget, and I know I haven't been on in a while. It's probably been about a month. I've been hunting with my daughter and my dad, and just having a good time. The first time I took my daughter out, we saw 5 deer, and where we had her in the deer stand, there's no way she could have got a shot, and there's no way we could have got a shot off of it because it's youth weekend. We can't really use her gun to shoot a deer. So, so this is what happened. Youth weekend. This is what happened then. Okay, so we get her set up in the biggest window, and she's there. She's got a new gun. She loves it. She's all camoed out, got her orange on, got her orange hat on. Cute. Uh, so a couple hours went by. There's 3 deer over to the right where I was sitting. So out that right side window, 3 deer, and there's no way she could have went to the front and got a shot because there was 3 trees hiding those deers. So they ran off. So we leave about an hour later. We didn't see anything. We leave, go get something to eat, come back, set her up front, or set her in that, excuse me, set her up in that window. Dang, excuse me. Set her up in that window that we saw those other 3 does, right? So we're sitting there, hour later. This this big doe comes right in front of me where she was sitting, just happened to she was broadside, and I had the window closed, so there was no way for me to I tried to open up the window, and it spooked her, of course. so she couldn't do anything on that. And then there was another one that came up after that one, but her angle, she would have probably missed a shot being a and my daughter's pretty good on the range. If you've seen the the Instagram channel, there is a picture of her shooting her at the range, shooting her new gun, practicing and um, before deer season. So we didn't get a deer that during youth that round of the season. So then last weekend we went to we went out again, the three my dad, my daughter, and we were out there maybe 45 minutes and a spike deer come up, and I just happened to look over, and there he is just standing there. And I tapped my dad on the shoulder. I'm like, "Hey, got one over there." And he got it. He got it. So we field dressed it and took it to the processor, which was probably about, let's say, a half hour, 40 minutes away. But we got back at 10:30 and we got up into the stand for about 4 more hours. We didn't see anything after that first deer. That was the only deer we saw, and my dad shot it. So we took it to the processing. They are so booked up that he will not be getting his deer until after the first of the year. It's like deer season deer hunting is getting more and more popular in our state every year. So, and I love deer jerky. I love deer sausage. That's why we did it. And while my dad was getting the truck, me and my daughter was there with the deer, and I I rubbed its shoulder and its side, and I said, "Thank you for your sacrifice." My daughter's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm thanking the deer for its sacrifice to feed us, because that's what it's gonna do." We didn't go out there just to shoot at something. We went out there to get substance. We are going to eat that deer. So therefore, we have to give thanks to that deer for sacrificing itself for to feed us. And when I get my next deer, when I go out deer hunting and I get a deer, that's what I do. I thank them. That gives me peace of mind that, hey, I'm thanking you for your sacrifice because you're giving me this blessing. So, and I hope it taught my daughter something in that moment, that you just don't take what you want. You know, you give you give thanks when thanks is due. Like, we just had Veterans Day, and she had veterans at her school. I'm not a veteran, but I support the veterans. And she came home, and I'm like, did y'all have a lot of veterans at your school? Yeah, yeah, my friend's dad is he's he's in the Air Force, and then my other friend's dad's in the Army. I said, "Did you thank them for their service?" She said, "Of course I did, because you taught me that." And I'm like, "Okay, good job. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you." So she's coming up, and she's young, but she does the girly things. But I didn't have to remind her to give thanks to those veterans that she saw at her school. Not because they were not because they were her friend's the fathers of her friends. It's just that they were veterans and they sacrificed their time, and they could have lost their lives in our during service. So they gave up their time to join to protect our freedom. So always give thanks to a veteran, always. And if you can, I do the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. I love them. I do give to the Gary Sinise Foundation. It's a one-time uh, donation every year. But I do subscribe to the $11 a month for Tunnel to Towers. Okay, um, because I like what they do, and 95% of the proceeds go to the veterans or the mortgage payments and all that stuff of the uh, fallen families to pay their mortgage off, and I can get behind that. 95% of all proceeds raised goes to the cause, and I love that. I absolutely do. So, and that's not an endorsement. They're not a sponsor. That's just my personal feeling on that. Okay. I try to give when I can. I give to the Salvation Army every year of Christmas. Just like to give back for those who gave so much. So, again, if you're in a band and you want to get on the show, I have 35 followers on Facebook. I think I have like 35 followers on Twitter, X, and then I have other podcast sites that I post my videos on. If you want to come on my podcast, shoot me an email at steve.man at project8podcast.com. That way we can talk a little bit. I'll give you my phone number, or you can just message me on Messenger, on Facebook Messenger, however you want to do it. We had Gil Faction on not too long ago from Single Brass Faction. Hey Gil, if you see this, man, I love you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I talked to Rick Phoenix. He's on Facebook too. He's a really cool guy. I talked to him over the phone. If you're on my Facebook page, you'll see me share some of Rick Phoenix's stuff. Again, two of the nicest guys I've ever met, and so far, I love them. They're good guys. They play really good music. You don't have to be in a rock band. You um, can be R&B. It can be any genre. I just happen to like rock, metal, alternative, some rap. If you want to, like I said, if you want to get on the podcast, just steve.man at project8podcast.com. And if you like to donate, you can go to the website at project8podcast.com. There's also a QR code at the top of this video. If you want to scan that and donate, you can as well. It all goes to the same. I did have a couple of new donations last month. Thank you for everyone that did that. If you want a shout out, send me an email. I'll give you somebody out there a shout out. Make sure they're on. I like to do the podcast every Saturday at 7 p.m. But with deer season arise, I'm trying to miss it, or I have to miss it because I'm out hunting. We're not going to have a podcast this Saturday at 7. No podcast this Saturday at 7. I'll try to do one. If I get a deer Saturday, I'll do one Sunday morning. maybe around 11 Central Time. So I really miss doing this. I love talking to you folks and telling different stories. Um, there's a lot going on in the world today. I mean, we have inflation. We got a renegade president that's doing whatever he wants to do. Uh, we have patriots suffering in solitary confinement for what they're calling an insurrection. I don't see, any other rioters getting prosecuted, sentenced to time in jail. I know I'm not going to do it, but I just had to say that. Really didn't want to do a political today, but it just pisses me off the way this country is headed. And I don't know when enough is enough, but I've had enough. Just, if you want to talk about it, just send me an email or a messenger that, maybe we can get in contact with each other and talk about what's going on, maybe support one another. It's just sad. This country is not the country that I was raised in. I will tell you that. This is something different. This something is out there that's pulling at me. I don't know what it is, but something's not right. Something doesn't smell right, and I've had this feeling for the last 2 years. And when I get that feeling, it's something bad does happen. I'm not saying it's going, but man, I got this bad, bad, bad feeling that we're gonna be hurting. So anyway, again, I'm gonna plug everything again. So we're on YouTube Live, we're on Twitter Live, we're on Facebook Live. I do everything live because you see this is what you get. And I want to do it. I want you to see me for me. I don't want some edited bullshit. I want you to see me the way I am, the way I talk. And yeah. So, support the show. Scan that QR code at the top left corner. Or you could go to project8podcast.com. Go all the way to the bottom of the page, click donate to support the show. If you're a band, you like to get on the podcast or would like for me to give somebody a shout out, send me a text on Facebook Messenger or send me an email. Steve Mann. I'm sorry, Steve.Mann, MANN, at project8podcast.com. All right, everybody. Stay safe. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And I will talk to y'all real soon. God bless you.